Hey, everybody out there. Just wanted to go live and chat. Let's chat. Let's talk about business. Let's talk about specifically simplifying your business model. I do a lot of consulting for businesses, help them figure out how to go to the next level. But honestly, a large portion of the time I've been running my business, I've been falling into this trap of overly complicated models, right? So I wanted to talk about this because in the last 4 to 6 months, I've made a concerted effort to fix that. And it's been nice, to be honest, outside of, everything that's going on, in life and everything outside of business. This is something that I'm super passionate about. And I wanted to talk with each of you kind of about this journey here. You've heard people talk about it. It's almost a catchphrase and almost cliche at this point, talk about niching down. And what they mean by that is a lot of people, when they first start their business or they're going out online or they're selling some services or whatever, they're just trying to grab any work that comes their way, any consulting job that comes their way. And so they list, a ton of different things that they do for people. One of the easiest ways to see this is if you go to someone's Instagram business page and you look at the link that they have in their bio, because you get one link in Instagram. A lot of people will have one of those services like link in bio or Linktree or whatever. There's a bunch of them out there. And you click on that and then you'll see a list of all these different things. Follow me on this, book a call for consultation, buy my product or join my free group or, whatever. All of those things are out there. But the problem with that is, and that's a sure sign of someone that is casting their net way too wide and burning themselves running themselves ragged, just not being able to get everything done that they need to. But where does that kind of come from? Well, it actually comes from fear, like fear that you're not going to make enough money, fear that you're not going to close enough deals or whatever to level up your business. And so the first initial kind of gut reaction is to just say yes to everything that comes your way and list all of the different things that you can do to help people. And the fact of the matter is people are complex, right? Like you're not just this one trick pony that only does one thing. You have this wealth of knowledge in all these different areas. You probably don't know that for years and years and years, I was a master screen printer and did graphic design and screen printing, not on t-shirts, but on large signs and everything. And then got into wrapping cars with digital graphics. But I don't even, other than this video, I don't even talk about that. I don't even list that. That's something I can help you with because it's not something that I want to focus on moving forward. But you're the same way. You're an expert in lots of things, whether it's helping people with marketing or advertising, but you also might be an expert at cooking or interior design or something like that. But you also might be an expert at accounting or bookkeeping or web design or development or literally just about anything. And so a lot of people will hop on there and they'll say, well, hey, I want to start this online business. And so I'm just going to tell everybody that, all the things I can help them with, and I'll just say yes to everything and I'll make lots of money. The problem is you're setting yourself up to have this very complex business model where you're doing a little bit of this over here, here, and here, where managing all of that is going to start taking up more time than it takes to actually make the money in your business, do the things that actually bring in the revenue, because you're managing complex accounting systems and you're managing, all these different clients in different areas, and you're managing maybe a product that you're selling or a group that you're selling. And I've already told you, I'll tell you again, I've fallen into this same trap. When I first started, this is exactly what I did, and how, this is why I can talk about it right now. But we want to talk about simplifying, right? Like find a way to simplify all of that, and then you can actually lean into that and grow and build systems to help take portions of your business and do those things, right? Whether it's hiring an assistant or a contractor or something to help you at first, or hiring some employees to do certain parts of your business. The more kind of straightforward your business model is, and the simpler your business model is, the easier it is to set up those either software systems or people in place to help you with those things so that you can kind of progress forward. So if you're one of those people, and you probably know who you are, if you are one of those people that's doing too many things, Let's talk about some ways to start trying to fix that. And I'll be honest, fixing it will be hard. It's not going to be easy. You'll see a lot of people out there in my space specifically telling you, hey, just follow this process and you'll crush it and you'll have $20,000 months or 6-figure years or 7-figure years or whatever. The thing is a lot of that stuff isn't super realistic. A lot of that stuff is oversimplification for the sales process, but then is kind of a letdown when you get to the point of actually executing it for you, because your circumstances are different. Maybe you have kids, or you have these other responsibilities, or you're still doing a full-time job and trying to do this side hustle, and beating yourself up because you can't do it all. You can't actually put in 80 hours a week right now. But if you can simplify things and find a way to simplify that, you can actually start putting things in place. One of the things you need to do is remove yourself, right? If you're just starting out, this is something that everyone has to kind of plow through. You need to find a way to remove yourself from the activities that are generating the money directly, like by a level. And here's what I mean. Here's what I mean by that. Here's a very simple system. So when I first started doing this, I actually got let go from a job, which is why I started this. I was applying to other jobs and I was like, well, we'll start this business thing and we'll apply for jobs and see which one takes off. And that's how I ended up here. So it wasn't necessarily by choice, but I needed to, make some money. And so I started doing freelance website development and consulting for marketing. Now, I still do consulting for marketing, and I still dabble a little bit in some of this freelance development, but those are all kind of part of the mix that I'm trying to simplify. But what I'm getting at here is when I started doing this, I was getting more clients than I could take on at any given point in time. I'm one person, so I would sit down and I'd develop for 8 or 10 hours a day, but then I wouldn't have time to get new clients. When I'd finish up a project, I'd have a period of time where I wasn't making any money while I was out trying to scramble to get clients. But when I brought on a team member or two to help do the actual development, I could focus more on the closing of the clients. So the money was generated through the actual development, the fingers on the keyboard, but I was one level removed, and that allowed me to take on more clients. Yeah, I still had to manage that process and things, but that's what I'm talking about, removing one level. Now, let's talk about some ways to do that, because not all business is like an agency business or something like that. Some people have lots of different ways that they make money. So let's talk about some ways here to kind of remove yourself from the thing that's actually making the money by one level. One of the easiest ways to do that is to create some sort of a product, and I'm a massive fan of digital products. That's where I've been focusing a lot of my time and energy in to simplify. Digital products are pretty straightforward. They're not like this walk in the park. There's no matter what you do with business, there's going to be some things like you've got to handle customer service or whatever, but the business model itself is super simple. So if you're running an agency or doing some development or you're doing some consulting or whatever, you could package up some of that knowledge into like a checklist, some books, some workbooks or something like that, maybe a small video series. It doesn't have to be a full-fledged, 40-hour course, but you could package some of that knowledge up into a product, right? Now you just got to once you've done that, and you set up a little system to create your cart page, collect the payment, and then deliver the product. Now you kind of removed yourself one level, because that can make money as long as you're driving traffic to that, either through social media or through ads or through an email list or whatever. That can make money. The money can actually be generated when you're not sitting in front of the computer pounding the keys or talking with one of your clients. So you removed one level. You might be asking yourself, okay, but I do services and things. How do I do it with just service? Maybe I don't want to create a digital product. Maybe I want to keep doing the services. Well, what you can do is you can package your services, right? And so you can kind of sit down and think, okay, of all of the services I provide, is there one like aspect of the service, one process, one set of steps that I can package up and say, okay, this set of steps is something I excel at, I'm really good at, and I can sell that as a packaged service at a fixed price, and I know exactly what needs to happen. A good example of that would be a graphic designer that does design for web, print, all of these different things. They don't necessarily want to ditch that part of their business, but they want to find a way to level up maybe close more clients faster or whatever, maybe get a little bit more consistent in that area, they could say, okay, well, I'm really good at doing logo design, and I have this unique 10-step process that I follow that's unique to me that no one else has, and it's something that I can replicate time and time and time again. Maybe there's a discovery phase where you ask these specific questions, and then you have a mock-up phase where you make 3 different mock-ups that are just wireframes with no color or whatever in them, and then you have the next step where you're adding some color, and you're maybe making some final tweaks and honing it, maybe adding some gradients or shading or whatever. You have this process. You bundle all of that up into a fixed price process, and then that's actually much easier to sell than all these other things because people know exactly what they're getting. You're able to clearly communicate exactly what you offer, and then people can literally just go to a page, buy that process, and then you go through the 10 steps and you're done. And as you do that more and more, you actually get faster at that. So no more, charging by the hour. One of the problems with charging by the hour, which I've done in the past, still do some from time to time, is that as you get better at something, you get faster at it, and therefore you make less money for the same amount of value provided, if that makes sense. So if you productize a portion of your business, so maybe you're still closing some clients over here, you have some ongoing freelance, whatever, you've bundled this one process, productized it, and now again, you can just drive traffic to that, and as people sign up, you just deliver on that. Now, you could even take parts of that process and hand that off to a contractor or a virtual assistant or something. So there's going to be like a discovery phase. Well, maybe you have a form where people can fill out all of this information so you can discover more about their brand, or you have one of your assistants or a contractor call them and collect that information for you. You could even hire maybe a junior designer to, or maybe even an intern, right? Someone that's working on this to do the first few mock-ups that you then check off or tweak before the client ever sees them. And again, that's part of the bundle. You're paying them, a fixed rate to do that. You're making a fixed rate over here, but now instead of only being able to do 2 of those a month, now you can do 4 because you've handed off 2 of the more time-consuming parts of that process that you standardized, and you've handed that off to some people that are helping you out, and now you can do 4 of those a month instead of 2. And if you're charging, I don't know, going rate for logos is all over the place, but a good logo is maybe around $2,000. On Fiverr, you can find someone to do it cheap, and you're going to kind of get a cheap logo. But for something highly customized, it would be around $2,000. So doing 2 of those a month is $4,000 a month. But if you can do 4 of those a month, that's $8,000 a month, right? So maybe you have a little bit more overhead, but you're able to close more of those a month, and you've productized your service and kind of removed yourself one level from making money. And you've also simplified that process, and you've simplified it so much that if you can close enough clients consistently, the other graphic design work, if that's what you're doing, the print brochures and all those other things, maybe that's a part of your business that can be phased out, or one of my favorite things I like to do is if you do plan on phasing that out, you can phase it out by attribution by raising the prices significantly on that, so that then you don't mind quite so much. By having fewer of those, it makes more sense for you to put your time in that, and you're dropping some of the clients that maybe are lower paying but higher headache clients. We all know who those are. So you can do that. So that's an interesting way to productize. The other way you can do this, which is one of the ways I've been leaning into a lot lately, is to productize all of your knowledge, training into some sort of a membership, whether it's a membership where you deliver content and information on the monthly. One of the more successful memberships I've seen out there is one that you sign up and you get nutrition information, diet plans, whatever, a workbook to help log your stuff, a community, all these things kind of bundled up into one price. And then the business owner has 3 or 4 community managers, some content creators that help create the lists, a person that manages the email marketing, because a lot of this is done through email. But now they have this kind of membership process that you've productized your knowledge, your understanding, and that's a model that can work for literally anyone. If you're a graphic designer, or I've seen a membership for someone who, this is crazy, but someone who helps lawyers with Google Ads and Google Business Reviews and Yelp reviews, right? And they've kind of bundled that all up into a membership where they're basically just teaching lawyers how to stay on top of that, and they give them the kind of state State of the Union address each month, if, for lack of a better term. But basically, that area is kind of changing a lot. Lawyers are busy with lots of things, and they don't have the time to go out there and try to find all of this information to determine if it's good. So they pay some money to someone who's an expert in the field, specified to lawyers, and then each month they get an email that they can quickly read, or every week they get an email that they can read. They get maybe a video training. They get a community where they can ask some questions on how to do that better. And for less than the price of hiring a marketing agency to handle that for them, they can now have maybe one of their frontline staff help manage those parts of things in between other responsibilities, right? But now you've productized that knowledge. And there's so many different ways. I work in a creative studio, and that's why you might see some background, and you might be asking yourself, or might hear some background noise. And you might be asking yourself, what's a creative studio? Well, it's a studio where a lot of artists create. We have sculptors right behind me. Actually, here is someone that does glass work, stained glass work, and then someone that does incredible, amazing flower arrangements and artistic flower displays. We have people that do jewelry, people that do some abstract painting, people that do woodworking, everything like that. But many of the creatives and artists in here during the pandemic took their knowledge and kind of turned it into an online community, a way for them to kind of teach others how to do what they do. And so there's lots of different ways you can kind of productize this and simplify it. And now you might be thinking, okay, so this is great, right? I want to do this, but this is now just one more thing on my task list. Well, you can get started super simple, right? You could create a very simple, to gauge interest, you can create a very simple PDF download that's a freebie to start building a list, right? And that freebie you could on paper spec out exactly what you want to do, whether it's a membership or you're productizing. Keep hitting my mic here. I wave my hands a whole lot. You productize maybe a portion of like the steps that you follow as part of your services that you deliver. But you can create some sort of a freebie PDF or whatever email list and start building an email list that way. Then you could email them with a super simple survey, even if it's just a Google form or a free type form survey, asking people some questions if they'd be interested in this, in this, what you're thinking of. And then once you do that, you're like, okay, cool, I've got this. Maybe I can dedicate some time on after some hours, or maybe I can find some ways to work in the next couple of steps and then launch it. And then once you launch it and you start getting that going, you can start again phasing out different parts of your business model to make it make more sense. And as you start growing this, and so, yeah, look, if you're in this place where you're doing too many things, don't feel like guilt or shame surrounding any of this. Understand that this is normal. Like everyone that goes through this has to push through these kind of barriers and everything. That's fine. But take some time to try to, think about ways to simplify your business model and try to find a way to remove you as the direct revenue equation. Yeah, I was going to tell you one last thing about removing you from that equation. One of the reasons why you need to do that, and this is an important reason, is if you have some sort of hiccup in your life outside of your business, because we're all people. We have that going on. We have, pandemic. I talk about that a lot. We're still in that. We have family members. Maybe someone gets sick. Maybe someone needs some help with something or whatever. But if you have yourself removed one level from that money-making process, when you need to step away from your business to go take care of something outside of your business, the revenue can still be generated. So, because one of the worst things that can happen is if you step away from your business because you've got to focus on something over here that's important, whatever that is, family member, friend needing help, something. Right? Maybe you just need some help, right? Like that's fine. The revenue can still be generated and you're not going to have this financial cash crunch after the fact, right? After you take care and handle that. So definitely take some time to think about that. And let me know, let me know in the comments if there's, a question you have about this or whatever. And I'm planning on starting to go live more and more often. on this. I'm going to try to keep them shorter, but this is a 20-minute live. I don't know how to keep things short, I guess. But anyway, let's keep the conversation alive. Go out there and simplify your business model. Simplifying is more important than niching down, in my opinion. So keep that in mind, and let's go crush it. Okay, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.